Okay, guys, I think we can start. It's a pleasure for me to be here together with you in such a wonderful Ireland. I hope you like this place the same as me. So today we will talk about Sitecore Headless SDK for Astro. And before I start, I want to thank you, all of our sponsors that make this conference possible. It's a big privilege for us to be all here, offline, you know, to meet each other face to face. And let me quickly introduce myself. So my name is Vasyl Gavryliuk, and I am a software developer at JSS company. I have more than 15 years of web development experience, and I'm also an ex-Sitecore employee. I've been working for Sitecore company, different projects, different marketing solutions, especially a sitecore.com website. And I also was working on an SXA solution, and I'm sure most probably you use this wonderful module, or at least tried it. And I'm here on behalf of Anton Tishchenko, who is the CTO of JSS, and he is also a 6-time technology MVP. He is also a hackathon winner, but he's the main inspirer of this project. Unfortunately, he cannot join us today. So let's start. Today we will talk about the current sitecore-jss market development state, the frameworks that are currently in use. We'll see what is Astro Web Framework, why, when, and how to use it with Sitecore. And we will also have a short demo to see how to work with it. So before suggesting some new frameworks or approaches, we have to understand the market. So let's look what web frameworks are currently in use and what are current trends in Sitecore headless development. So Sitecore does not provide us with any official statistics of the usage, but we live in open data world, and we took NPM downloads packages statistics, and we parsed it, and we analyzed it. And what we can see here, we can see that Next.js framework dominates the market. So it started fast grow in 2022, and still doesn't stop. And there is no surprise in that. If you are starting a new headless project in 2024, most probably you'll go with Next.js. But we can see that other frameworks are still in use. So, for example, React in use, but it is slowly decreasing because most probably its usage is continuously replacing by Next.js plus React approach. Vue.js is slowly decreasing as well, and Angular is in use, but you see there are some spikes in usage which we cannot explain. Most probably Sitecore does some internal testing with these packages. Yeah, so we think the Next.js popularity is caused mostly by a technology named SSG, that stands for static site generation. And SSG makes our site blazing fast, and Sitecore provides currently only one official way to use SSG, that is Next.js. Next.js is a meta framework on top of React. So we can easily migrate our React.js project to Next.js. But there is no easy option for GSS sites based on Vue and Angular to use SSG. It is still possible to apply SSG. For example, we did it for Vue framework on Next, but it requires, of course, an additional effort and some custom code to be written. So pie chart can give us a better understanding of Sitecore framework's market distribution. We can see that Next.js is taking 3/4 of the market, and React framework still has about 10 to 12%, and Angular plus Vue has about 15% in common. You can find a bit more stats on Sitecore JSS packages distribution on the XDST website. So let's sum up what we saw in the statistics. So Sitecore made a right decision by choosing Next.js in 2021. It became very popular and it revolutionized Sitecore Headless development. React is continuously replacing by Next.js. And most probably, at some point, clean React approach will be completely replaced by Next.js. But there are still Sitecore clients who use Angular and Vue frameworks. And there is simply no easy option for these clients to upgrade. If they want SSG, they have to remove or rewrite a lot of existing code. So Next.js is a really good option for Sitecore site. But one single option could not be an answer to all the challenges. And there are a set of tasks where other frameworks can fit better. And one of such frameworks is Astro. It is quite new, but already well-known framework. So let's figure out why, when, and how to use it together with Sitecore. So there are many reasons why Astro can be selected. Astro is very fast and performant. Astro can be easily integrated with any other UI framework. Island architecture allows you to mix static and dynamic content on the same page. And a great developer experience and easiness of use allows developers to be more productive. Initial content focus makes it perfect match with CMS like Sitecore. So let's stop on each of the advantages separately. First of all, at a speed. So nothing could be faster than a plain HTML and CSS. Even a small portion of GSS makes our site slower. And all other frameworks like Next.js, Next, or Svelte, they are fast, but they have limitation by design. So they have to hydrate the HTML. And hydration is a quite time-expensive process of attaching JavaScript events to the HTML DOM elements. Astro is fast by design, and for most of the components, Astro does not run this iteration process. That's why it's really hard to make really kind of slow website using Astro. HTTP archive website contains a lot of data regarding performance of a real, well-known websites. In one of the tests, they ran Lighthouse report in simulated mobile loading conditions. And here we can see the median lighthouse score for different frameworks. Astro shows here just awesome results. We also made our own benchmarking, and we created two exactly the same websites. One is based on Astro, and another one is on Next.js. And in all the cases, Astro were faster. How much it is faster? It is different from the kind of different on the test type, mobile or desktop, throttling, and internet connection speed. So, yeah, but anyway, if you ask me how to build fastest possible website, my answer would be Astro. So next adventure is island architecture. Most of Sitecore sites are marketing sites. And marketing sites are perfect for static site generation. So SSG gives us blazing fast and SEO-friendly pages. But part of the page anyway should be dynamic, because such dynamic components makes our site alive. And to allow this, Astro provides us with technology named Astro Islands. So components that can be static and generated in advance, they will be static. Astro will not run expensive iteration process for this component. Parts that should be dynamic can be marked with special client directive. And inside such island, you can use one of your components from your favorite web UI framework, React, Vue, or Angular. So this architectural approach allows you to get the best from two worlds, speed and SEO from SSG, and a rich client behavior from dynamic frameworks. So Astro is UI agnostic framework. What it means? Unlike Next.js, Astro can be integrated with any UI framework of your choice. So Next.js is meta framework for React. It can be integrated only with React. Potentially, it can be integrated with Preact, but only with some limitations. And Astro has its own very easy UI language, plus it supports integration of any popular UI framework, React, Angular, Vue, Svelte, and a long list of others. So that means that you and your development team can choose the framework that you like or the one that is already in use. And yes, most probably for existing JSS React site, you will choose Next.js as your SSG framework. But there is simply no options for sites based on Vue on Angular. So adding Astro will allow you to improve performance, decrease hosting prices, and give you a better SEO, all the advantages you get with SSG. Astro was designed to feel familiar regardless of skill level or past experience in web development. I'm a backend developer, and I was working with backend code the most of my life. Probably the same as you, if you are quite long in Sitecore development, right? But it took me just about 1 hour to start with Astro. So Astro has its own very easy UI language. And basically, each HTML snippet can be a valid Astro component. So you don't need to be experienced in any other web framework like Vue, Angular, or React to start with Astro. But if you really want to integrate, Astro allows you to do this easily. So it's even possible to integrate few of the UI frameworks on the same page, and we will show this on the demo. Of course, that is not something that we recommend, but it's possible. Netlify proves Astro is an ease of use. So they make web developer surveys each year, and we took one slide from the previous year report. So it shows us a change in usage of web frameworks and also a change in developer satisfaction. And Astro is located in the top right corner. You see, a great place. So that means that Astro now more used and developers are more satisfied with it. And Next.js were almost in the same position in the previous year's reports. And where it is now, it dominates the market. So that's why Netlify predicts Astro a bright future. And change in satisfaction score even more important for us because satisfaction means happy developers. And happy developers, they are more productive. And productive developers can do their work faster and do it better, which gives us a lower time to market. And low time to market, of course, that is, as a result, we have happy clients, and that is our goal, right? So we built our sites using Sitecore, and this Sitecore is a digital experience platform. But the main part of a DMS is content management system, CMS. So we build mostly a content-focused sites with Sitecore. Otherwise, we don't need CMS. So it's very rare case when we build not a website, but a kind of complex web application using Sitecore. So to be efficient, we should use tools specific for websites, not web applications. As we all know, every tool is a hammer. So nothing wrong with frameworks like React, Vue, or Angular. They are perfect tools for their tasks. So if you really need to build the complex web applications, then just use them. But if you need to build a website, you may use tools for building content sites. And Astro is a web framework that was designed for building content-rich websites. So together, Sitecore and Astro could be a perfect match because they are both about content. So we talked about main Astro advantages, so now let's sum up. Astro will be a good choice for Sitecore viz. For marketing sites, other content-focused sites like landing pages, blogs, documentations, portfolios. Astro can be used for adding server-side generated content for your existing Vue, React, or Angular website. And of course, if you plan to upgrade your existing .NET website. There are other cases when you may consider Astro as your web framework. That is a complex animations. So both web frameworks and animations libraries wants to be responsible for a component lifecycle. And there is much easier to integrate animation library without the web framework like React, Vue, Angular. Another case, when you have some complex front-end integration, for example, algorithm search, it might be easier to make something custom without the web frameworks because of their compatibility. So Astro and Sitecore can be a perfect match, but it requires additional code to be written. And we already did it. So let me introduce a sitecore-jss SDK for Astro. So we made a fully featured SDK for Astro. And it has the same functionality as other official SDKs for other frameworks like Next.js, React, Vue, or Angular. We support text, rich text, link, image, and other field types. Additional field type is an Astro image. It gives you a very cheap image optimization during the build time. So you have rich page design capabilities with placeholders and edit frames. And of course, all your pages can be edited using the Experience Editor. We also support XM Cloud and also a page editing interface. Multi-language functionality works the same way as it works for other frameworks. We also made sample integrations for three main popular frameworks for React, Vue, and Angular. You still have inline editing ability, even if you use Sitecore fields inside dynamic parts of your page based on any of this framework. So it makes adding Astro to your existing React, Vue, or Angular JSS project a matter of weeks. You're just replacing your existing layout to Astro layout, do some small changes, and start your firm Astro-based project. We made this SDK open source. All the code is available on GitHub. The code is distributed under the Apache 2 license, which is the most free licenses. You can use, modify, create derivative work, or sell it. And all the packages that we distribute are built using GitHub CI action and uploaded to NPM registry. So now let's see some demo. Okay. So we have an empty projects folder, and we have Docker Compose project. That is the only one scene that I ran before the demo, just to save us some time, because it is, taking time, and we have much more good things to do here than waiting for Docker. So a Docker Compose create a Sitecore Headless website for us, and it contains a lot of style guide pages similar to what we have with other SDKs. So to start with Astro, we navigate to the NPM registry and copy the initialization command. Let's run it. It will copy the initializer, which will run and ask us some of the questions. So first of all, that is a template that we are going to use. Currently, we're supporting 2 templates. One includes all the samples for different frameworks like React, Vue, and Angular, and another one is built specifically for migrating Vue application to Astro. So we will use the first one for our demo. Then we should provide a folder. So let it be Astro. And then we should provide a name for the app. And the name of the app should correspond to the app name in the settings of your site. So it is going to be Astro as well. Then we have to provide a site host. That is a host name where we'll pick all our layout service information, and we can find it on the site item definition. That is Astro Headless localhost in our case. The only thing we should prefix it with HTTPS. Then to make a connection between Sitecore instance and rendering host secure, we should provide an API key, and API is located under the system settings, as you know. So let's pick a proper API key. This is going to be ID of this item. Then we have to provide an item ID of our Astro site, because otherwise dictionary functionality will not work properly. So let's do it. So during the initialization, it is copying some of the files from the template that we selected, and it is running npm installation. So it is taking usually about a minute, maybe sometimes two, depends really on internet connection speed. So meanwhile, let's navigate into the project folder and see what we have there. So let's run Visual Studio Code here. So let's check first the JSS config. We can see that all the variables are properly populated. They look absolutely the same as it is in the other SDKs. And there is one additional file is Astro config. So we see it as present, and everything is fine. So let's switch back. Okay, we can see that Sitecore, Astro, and existing logos are rendered, and we have some welcome message and the next steps. So we are ready to run our Astro instance. Let's navigate into an Astro folder first. Okay, when it starts, what it does, it's actually registering all of our components into a component factory. It does registration of necessary plugins, and also it creates a proper configuration. Basically, all the steps that usually any JSS application does. So we can see a list of available URLs for our application. Let's run a first one. And yes, we can see it is loaded. We will look in the style guide page. It is very similar to what you seen usually when starting with JSS, with any other frameworks, but with some additions. So you can see a single line, multi-line, rich text are supported. There is also image fields. A separate component is Astro image. Already mentioned it. There is also a file number, checkbox, and date, which is supported. Different type of links. Then we can still build the custom layout patterns and reuse the content. Tabs is available as well. A Sitecore contexts are always accessible for you on any Astro page, on any Astro component, so you can get any necessary data that you need. There is also component params, which you know usually as rendering params, that allows us to usually modify the presentation of the components. And there are sections with integrations. So basically, we integrated components from different UI frameworks. For example, that is the React components, and that is the block with Vue components, and that is another one with Angular components, and all of them are properly rendered and working. So, as I already said, not recommended practice, but just a fun fact, it properly works. Okay, so let's switch to the experience editor to quickly check the style guide page. So as you can see, the page looks the same. So for most of the components, inline editing is working as it usually works for other SDKs. So you can edit the text, you can change the images. Let's select some proper image. Then links also can be edited the very common way. Components can be added and can be removed in the same way as we does it for other SDKs. So all the functionality in place. Edit frames still in here, so if you need to have some additional editing possibilities for fields that does not support inline editing, then you just use edit frames and they are working here. So let's wait for a second. You see the texts were changed. And you also may edit the content inside of the React, for example, React component inside of the React placeholder on the Astro page. So all this still continue to work. And if you have some time, okay, so we still have some time, and let me show you some code, so how actually development happens. So we are going to extend one of the components on the home page. It is named the content block. It contains over some heading and some content. Let's wait for a second. Yeah, but before extending the component itself, let's first go into our content block template and fill it with some additional data. So let's create a demo section here. Let's create some single line fields and add some image field. And let's save it. Okay, so you can see it is now reflected. Good. So then let's navigate to a content block Astro component. So you can easily distinguish Astro components by an Astro extensions. And each Astro component contains over 2 blocks. That is a script block that is executed on server side and also a template block. So we are going to edit a template block first. So let's put some section directly after the heading, and this section will contain our single line field. Let's render it with, for example, h3 tag. And let's specify a field here. So that is going to be a single. Okay. And another field we have, that is image. So to make image available here, we have to import it first from an Astro sitecore-jss package. Let's do it. And then let's also specify a field. So let's select an image. Okay, let's now save it and let's get back to the experience editor and just refresh it. Okay, we can see new fields were properly rendered. So we can put some text in here. Okay, maybe just, it is still loading. Okay, let's refresh it one more time. There is no text in field bug, you know. It is not disappearing sometime. And it is common for all the SDKs. Okay, so let's pick an image. Let's put some text in here. Interesting. Yeah, that would be nice. And let's save it. And let's now refresh it in a normal mode, and we can see it is reflected. I'm using a master database, you know, just to skip publishing. Okay, so that's it for the demo. So you can see that you can quickly start with your own Astro project. You have the same abilities as with other SDKs that Sitecore provides for us. So it's very easy to use. Everything that we show here is open source, including the Docker Compose project and all the serialization, so you can easily pick up and do this at your site. All the packages are built and deployed to NPM registry. So what are you waiting for? Give Astro a try. Give Astro a try. So it requires a really low effort to start, and you just try and make a conclusion for yourself. And we, a team of Astro, are always happy to help you make your Astro project successful. Thank you. So if you have some additional questions, we have, I don't know if you have time.
Yeah. We have time.
We have time, cool. So you can ask.
Do we have any questions? All right.
Yeah.
Hi. Sorry. Looks great, but how about SXA Headless?
So that is that works with SXA Headless. So
Works with it?
what you saw is just headless SXA site. It's just locally hosted.
Yeah, but this is the example of the plain JSS example. But in the connection with SXA Headless, I think some extra stuff needs to be done.
Yeah, it will work if you mean an XM Cloud.
Example?
Yeah, it works with XM Cloud, so that was tested.
Okay, I will try it out. Thanks.
Yeah.
Does Astro have support for more complex side of the things, like setting up URL slugs or rerouting and sitemap generation that normally Next.js does provide out of the box?
That's an interesting question. Yeah, I think I may ask guys from our team who explore this, yeah, and get back to you. We can meet after the session. Yeah.
Right, any other questions? Still have some time? All right, it sounds like that's it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys.